Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump just gave a speech and markets are now crashing again. And the reason is his market manipulation tactics are failing. Let's watch on, shall we, and see what's the key implication to the stock market and to the oil market. Well, Donald Trump just gave a speech addressed to the whole nation in America, and he actually delivered quite a lot of key points, but clearly what he's trying to do as the reverse result. He was trying to get everybody to buy in, get the investment market to buy in, and he failed. And as a result, markets are continuing to go down in the stock market, and oil prices are resuming its climb. As I bring to you more and more of these breaking news and market analysis in this very critical time where the markets are potentially crashing, I would like to encourage everybody to hit subscribe before you miss any of these very important updates. Well, Donald Trump's key message in his speech to the Americans are the following. So in terms of the war progress, he says, oh, we're very near completion of our key strategic objectives. And this will be finished very, very fast, very soon. But meanwhile, you know what I'm going to do? I know I'm going to end soon. I'm going to hit Iran very hard for 2 to 3 more weeks and bring them back to the Stone Ages. And he basically also said that their military, their navy, their air force has been decimated. Iran is no longer a threat. Now, actually, on this point, I just want to say, why you hit them so hard then? Okay, after you're going to hit them so hard again, given that their military is all gone, kind of weird, but later we'll talk about it. Their nuclear stockpile of 440 kilogram of highly enriched uranium, I don't care about them anymore. They're all far underground. So he also said that I know the gas prices, the petrol prices, the diesel prices are increasing and it's very high right now. Many people don't like it in America. Don't worry, this is going to be short term. And by the way, America is an energy independent country. So don't worry, we are going to be okay. Meanwhile, for the Straits of Hormuz, he basically says that, I want it to be open and it will automatically be open. But meanwhile, tell the other nations who are stuck by this situation, go and grab the oil yourself, right? So a lot of weird, funny kind of a message. And he basically says that, oh, the Iranian president has sought a ceasefire with me. And by the way, the Iranian side is basically said, where God? Total rubbish. So anyway, let's hear what he says. So the key objective that Donald Trump has said right now, he outright say, I don't care about it anymore. Because one of his key justification of the war with Iran is he wants to make sure that the Iranians does not have nuclear capability forever. But however, he said that, well, that 440 kilogram of highly enriched uranium, ever since last year, has been bombed and now deep in the ground. So actually, I don't care about that stockpile anymore. There's deep underground. I can use satellite to monitor it. And if they come and dig the ground, I'm going to do exactly the same thing, bomb them to Stone Ages again. Okay, I believe you. Then why the hell do you start this war? It was already bombed. This place was already bombed to Stone Ages last year. Then you start this war on this justification that you want to make sure they don't have access to this highly enriched uranium so that they cannot build nuclear weapons. Then you start this war for what? Right? Very confusing, right? So he did say that the war is going to be over and they are already achieving almost all the objective. But you know what? Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to bomb them extremely, extremely very hard. We're going to send them back to Stone Ages. So if you are winning, you're near completion, you can bomb people so hard for what? I don't know, right? Waste of ammunition. But I suppose US is very rich, want to test their weapons out so they can sell to more countries. I'm trying to figure out what's their justification. So, well, their own American senators are saying no one in America, after listening to the speech, knows whether we are escalating or de-escalating. And another person in the Senate actually said this. All she heard was war with nothing to lower cost of living. So this is a contradiction. The second contradiction is, well, the Straits of Hormuz, well, it's not American problem anymore. We got enough oil. So don't worry, those people who need oil, and because the Straits is stuck, you go and get oil yourself. You tell all the airlines, you need oil, right? Go and settle yourself. I don't care anymore. But by the way, Iran, I want you to allow the tankers to go through the Straits. Okay? If not, I don't want a ceasefire. 1 minute he say, I don't care. 1 minute he cares. And then the third thing he says that, oh, don't worry, you will reopen naturally when the war is over. What do you mean by reopen naturally when the war is over? So very weird, very unusual kind of claim. I can understand that maybe you give a off-the-cuff interview, you're a bit senile, you're 80 over years old, but these are prepared speech by the Trump administration. Very weird that, in a prepared speech, you have so many contradictions, right? So I listen until I tao gong gong, mong cha cha, what are you talking about? So contradiction number 3 is the nuclear justification, which I said earlier, right? On one hand, your nuclear bombing last year has achieved its program. So now I don't need to care about that nuclear enriched uranium deep underground. But don't worry, if they were to start digging at it, I will bomb them back to Stone Ages again, because I got satellite watching over them. Okay lah, then you don't need to start this war. You start this war for what? So I think he's either senile or being manipulated, or I don't know. It's just a very weird. Well, he also said that Iran is asking for a ceasefire, and meanwhile, Iran is already saying, I didn't ask for ceasefire. In fact, I'm going to hit you very hard, and you want to come and attack me, I'm ready. I'm not worried about your attack. So this is where there's a lot of contradiction as well. Now, the whole stock market, after hearing all this nonsense, basically came to realize, oh goodness, we got conned again. So immediately the market corrected the wrong. So the oil prices start going sky high again. In fact, the WTI prices have broke $100 and way above $100 to a month high since the start of the war. The Brent crude is rising again as well, and all the European and Asian stock prices start falling, and the futures market of the United States start falling again. So I think the stock market is just being moved and manipulated up, down, up, down, up, down. And guess what? They're going to be still being manipulated moving forward. Well, let's take a look at the Iranian response, shall we? Out of this speech. In summary, the Iranian response is not of one of defeat, but of defiance and strength. That's what they are doing right now. So Iran is now telling everybody, no, we never say we're going to cease fire. We never ask for ceasefire. And where you hit me are the places that are insignificant. Our strategic production of our weapons are in location you never reach. That's basically what they say. Now, whether that is true or not, that's a different story. And the president of Iran has outright written a letter to the Americans telling everybody that in modern history, Iran has never attacked anybody, but that's also a lie also, okay? So, and they are prepared, to fight all the way, and the US attack constitute to a war crime and plant seeds of resentment for years and so on. And of course, right now, the Iranians are attacking in all fronts, to the ships, the tankers, the ports, all the Gulf countries, and even the US embassy is issuing a warning that Iranian militia or Iranian-linked militia may attack within 24 to 48 hours in Iraq. So tell every Americans in Iraq, leave now. Right now, an American journalist has already been kidnapped. Well, Trump's own people in America are all very confused, and I thought the most important quotation that came out of this was from the Atlantic. It's a news media. He basically said this, maybe President Trump should not have given this speech because it raises more question than answer. And his approval rating is all-time low. And guess what? If this were to continue, the Republicans will have a likelihood of a massive loss in the midterm election end of this year. Now, let me now step back and try to educate not our Singapore and Malaysian investors, because most of you, or if not all of you, are very wise. But to our dear American fellow investors, I'll just say this. It's very clear that you are being manipulated. Okay. So after all this, you should see that the Straits of Hormuz remain to be closed. Iran is keeping up to the fight. As a result, the Straits is now blocked. Oil prices are going up. The market will crash as the oil prices continue to go up. What President Trump is trying to do is to manage the story to look like, oh, don't worry, we got everything in place. The war is going to be over very soon. Peace is coming and things like that. So don't worry. In short, just buy up the stock market right now. You'll be fine. And the oil prices, don't worry, everything will be okay. So start selling now to make the prices of oil come down. And as a result, well, we have got all this manipulation going on. And as this de-escalation signal happened, over time, the ground reality will come out. You will realize that, hey, the situation is bad. Okay, you can say what you want. There's oil shortages, oil prices go up. Your gas prices in America is the best litmus test. They are all going high and higher and higher. As a result, we're going to have global inflation, and global inflation will lead to stagflation, recession, and high prices. The stock market will be punished very, very hard. So be careful, not be manipulated. The best thing we could do is hope that there could come to a settlement between the Iranians and Americans. The best litmus test of whether the situation is escalating or de-escalating is to look at the Straits of Hormuz. As long as the Straits remain choked, all things will remain bad. Well, once the Straits is unchoked, things will remain good. There's only one outcome of this thing, and we just need to look at the Straits of Hormuz. So whatever Trump says, give promises, whatsoever, corroborate that with the Iranians' respond. And if that's a contradiction, then it's all what I call house xiao logi. It's a Singapore Malaysian term, house xiao, and logi, which basically means all nonsense from Donald Trump. So I will just say this, Trump's manipulation of the market is losing its potency. And we should expect oil prices to continue to spike, and that will hit the stock market quite hard. And unless there is really, really a handshake of some form or promise of a handshake from the Iranians, whatever Trump say, whatever is all just nonsense. So now, do I expect things to turn even more militarily bad? Yes, I do expect so, because they're going to hit them really very hard. And that's the only way that they could do to move themselves out of this problem. Could it be boots on the ground, troops on the ground by the Americans? It could be, but they're going to pay a heavy price from it. So I think the president is stuck. He doesn't know how to unstuck himself from this situation. So we're going to watch this whole situation very, very closely. I will just say this, don't be naive. Be careful not to be played by market manipulation and get burned. Well, to all the crash buyers like me, contrarian investors, I'll just say this, there's no need to respond to Donald Trump's, there's no need to respond to all his lies. All we need to do is just to wait. As the market comes down, there's opportunity, we fire. If it doesn't come, we stay back. There's no need to predict. There's no need to FOMO and chase market up. And I think this is the most important thing we need to do. Don't fall for his trick. So remember, hit subscribe as I bring you more important real-time analysis so that you'll not get burned. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my live stream tonight. Bye-bye.